Hey everyone, it's Mike. I'm back doing another installment. Vinyl finds mostly, I think. Today is Record Store Day, Spring Edition, and I usually go to Record Store Days. I think I've only skipped one in the past few years, but and this one was like a really good one. Like they had a lot, and you've seen all the videos everybody's been making about it, but they seem to have quite a bit more selection, quality selections of stuff, and it wasn't as sparse as some of the recent ones had been. And they were like four records that I was interested in. I was looking into. I'm like, okay, I might actually look to getting these. Usually, it's like one or two at the most that I have an interest in at these record store days. But this one, I was interested in four of them. So I went out this morning. I left the house around 5 and got there around 6 because I'm way out in the East Valley of Phoenix suburbs, but way out in the East Valley. And I went to the In Groove that Mike runs out there in central Phoenix and kind of east of central Phoenix. And so he's like right in the center. And it takes a little bit of time to get out there. Even at 5 in the morning, it's still, there's a little bit of traffic. Plus, there's a decent amount of distance. And made it there around 6 o'clock in the morning. It was just sun was coming up, and had to park kind of far away because there were already a good 50 or so people in line at 6 in the morning. And usually there's not that many. Usually I get there around 6, and there's like maybe 20 at the most. But this time there was quite a bit, and I think it was, of course, the Taylor Swift effect taking place there, and I think that also that 7-inch with Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish, I think that was a big draw as well. So there were quite a few more. There were ladies camping out from the night before. So, which is, I think maybe, I don't know, I think maybe they usually go out pretty early in the morning, but I think this is the first time I've seen any kind of report of their people being there the night before. But yeah, good for them. Hope they got what they wanted. And so I got there and I was about 60th in line by the time I parked, found a parking space and walked over, and waited there a couple hours. They opened at 8. And so here's the records that I was thinking about getting. The first one is the second album, and I think they put out an album much later, but they put out two albums kind of pretty close together back in the, I guess, early 90s, or I don't have the dates written down for this, so forgive me. But the band Belly, which is Tanya Donnelly from the Throwing Muses, it's her little side band that she had after she left the Throwing Muses. And it was the second album called King. And I have the CD from way back when. I bought it used a long time ago, but I was never a big fan of this album. And so I like the first one, Star. I like that one a lot. I do have that on vinyl, but I was never a big fan of the second one. And it kind of had the reputation of not being a very good album as compared to the first one, Star. So I thought, okay, well, they're re-releasing this. They're doing a reissue for a record store day. I don't listen to this album. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go back and listen to it. So I did this yesterday. I streamed these records or whatever while I was driving around, like kill two birds with one stone. And I listened to this album again, and I'm still not crazy about it. And nothing against her, the band, or whatever, but I'm just not enough of a fan of this album to want it on vinyl. I'm really trying to cut back on my vinyl buying habits, and I decided I really don't need this on vinyl. I've got the CD, and I can stream it anytime I want, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So I skipped that one. Funny thing though, when I got there and I looked through all the records, when I finally got into the building, this one was not there. Now they might have had some in the back because they had a lot of stock of everything, and they didn't put everything out into the bins. They put like a few records of each out in the bins, and then when they'd run out, they'd go back into the back and get more copies when they ran out. And that might have been the case with this, and nobody had asked for it yet, so they didn't have any in the bins. I wasn't going to ask them to go get one because I knew pretty much I wasn't going to get one anyway, but I didn't see it in the bins. So it could have sold out. I'm not sure. So anyway, I skipped that one. Another one that I was interested in, sort of, was Pale Saints, their third album, Slow Buildings. I got the first two when they were re-released, In the Comforts of Madness and In Ribbons. Fantastic albums, love those. And I have this is like a promo CD I got used somewhere. Never was a fan of this album. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna listen to this one again and see if my opinions have changed about this album in particular. And sure enough, I'm still not crazy about this album, don't like it. Again, nothing against the band or whatever. It's just me, I'm stupid, and I have weird tastes in music, and I just don't care for this album. So I decided, okay, I don't need to be spending $35 or whatever for a reissue on vinyl when I don't listen to it as it is anyway. So skip that one. Third album that I was interested in was Throwing Muses, a live album, Live in Providence. You can stream that right now on Spotify. I didn't ever have it downloaded, but I did notice that you can stream that on Spotify. So I did listen to it. And it was recorded in Providence, I think right before they did the Red Heaven album. So it has some of those songs from that album. This is after Tanya Donnelly left. So it's just Kristen and the remaining band. And the song selection is not great. And this is my own personal preference of the songs that I like by the Throwing Muses. It only had a couple on there that are like standout excellent tracks, and that's Fish and Hate My Way. Love those songs. But even like listening to those two songs on this particular live recording, they didn't sound all that great. I've heard better live. I've got a live CD called The Curse, I think, and it's really good. It sounds great, and it's got some of those songs. It's got a lot more songs that I like on that live recording than on this one. I'm like, do I really need to have this on vinyl? I can stream it. I don't know. I'm just really getting kind of very picky about and I love the Throwing Muses, and I buy pretty much everything I see when I see their stuff. But this one, I just felt like I didn't need to have it, so I skipped that one. Then the fourth record that I was interested in was Jesus Lizard put out a 3-song EP, and I guess it's outtakes from their last album that they just released. And it's called Flux is the name of the EP. 3 songs, $17 or whatever, $18. I just wasn't, I don't know, I just didn't feel like I really needed to have that. So again, I skipped it. If Jesus Lizard, like sometimes I feel like if the band is willing to come and play live in Phoenix and I go see them and I'll support them, I'll buy their merch, I would have happily bought that EP, I think, if my feelings about the band were kind of warmer about them coming and playing live shows where I can go see them. I've seen them a bunch of times way back when I was in college. They came to Gainesville, Florida, and I would see them. I also saw them in Louisville, Kentucky, way back when. I really wish that they would come and play in Phoenix, and they don't. So, so I don't know. I just don't feel like spending $17 for 3 songs. And the new album is fine, but it's not like their old stuff that I really love. Their first 3 albums are amazing. So I skipped that one. Maybe I'll come back if I see it used or something, maybe I'll come back and buy it at another time. There was also a record by Air. I love the band Air out of France, electronic band. It was like demos and live recordings from the Moon Safari album. Love that album, one of my favorite albums of theirs. But did I really need demos and live stuff? Not really. So I skipped that one. And then Thievery Corporation put out one of their records on vinyl reissue, and I skipped that one too. I don't know. I'm just kind of blasé about some of this stuff. Now, if Stereolab, which is my favorite band, I always have to say that, like Genuflect, I always have to say my favorite band for whatever reason, I don't know why. But if they were putting out stuff every, like Grateful Dead, they were putting out like releases every record store day, and it was like a picture disc and colored vinyl, and I'd be buying that crap up like you wouldn't believe. And I'm just that way with certain bands, Cocteau Twins or something, or Lush. I would be buying that crap up all the time. I'd be waiting in line. I probably would have been with those ladies camping out overnight if I had to. But this stuff is just not that high level for me to want to spend all this money on these things. So I just skipped it. So Record Store Day was kind of a bust for me. It looked like it was a huge success for a lot of people. A lot of people got, some fantastic stuff. I've been watching their videos this morning and kind of recapping and show and tell all the stuff that they got. Really cool. Looks like so many people had a great time. When I was in line, I noticed somebody that I was familiar, and I kind of had a feeling he would be there. One of my vinyl community friends, Todd the Mod, he lives out on the west side of Phoenix, so he came in from the west, I came in from the east, and we were both there at the in-groove. He was way up towards the head of the line, had a great spot. I wasn't going to bug him. I wasn't going to get out of my spot in line because I was by myself, but I figured I'd catch him either inside, if I was inside at the same time he was, or I'd catch him coming out. So I caught him coming out and went and introduced myself to him and stuff. So we had a little chat, and it was really nice meeting Todd, and just a great guy, and it looked like he got everything he wanted. So I'm really happy for him. And but I didn't come away with anything, but that's okay because I got other things. So actually, I had really good luck this past week. It's been a really good week for me, so I'm not complaining at all. So I did get a record. I was went out to eat with some friends and Courtney and my fiance, Courtney, and we went out to eat, and then afterwards we stopped by Zia Records because it was on the way back before we get on the freeway. It's right there on the way. So we stopped in, and I saw this record, and I knew it was out. I knew it had been reissued, and I've seen it. It's on my want list on Amazon or whatever, and it was the same price there as it is on Amazon, but I had credit on Amazon, so I used my credit, went ahead and ordered it, and it came in like the next day or 24 hours later. And I kind of feel like I'm gonna treat this as my Record Store Day purchase, even though it's not a Record Store Day record, but it's my little treat to myself for Record Store Day. And this is the first full-length album by the band Seefeel. It's called Keek. And I had this on CD back when it first came out, back in like 93. Let me search my notes there. Yeah, 93, October of 93, this came out. Love this. Before I bought this, I had already had their first EP, More Like Space, on CD, and I absolutely love this. This is back in 93. This came out as well, like earlier in the year, and it's a 4-song EP, and I was right there in the throes of shoegaze and everything, and this the very first song, More Like Space, sounds so much like My Bloody Valentine kind of stuff. The rest of their stuff does not. It's more electronic. But the first song is just really kind of very much a shoegazy kind of song. Time to Find Me, Come Inside. The second song is more of like a trip hop electronic song. Love this. And so I was really happy to get their first full-length album, Keek, on CD at first. I don't have the CD anymore. It was a digipack, and I sold it way back when. But then when I would see like they had been reissuing their other albums. They have like seven full-length records or something. They had been on a reissue campaign recently, but I'd never seen this one before. And I always thought, I don't want any of those other ones because I really enjoy this one the best. This is my favorite of their albums. And if I ever see this on vinyl, I want to get it. So then when they did this reissue just recently, I thought, okay, well, I can't just be not getting their other albums and then just pass this one by as well. I need to get this one. So this album is not really shoegazy. It's very electronic, droning, kind of did I write it down? It's ambient, kind of shoegazy, but with electronics. Not so much guitar on this one. It's got a little bit of guitar on it, but it's much more electronic than anything. electronica kind of music, techno kind of beats at times. Really awesome stuff. And so the vocalist that I mentioned, I didn't mention her, but the vocalist for Time to Find Me, Sarah Peacock, love her voice. And I really wish that they would use more of her like they did on this first EP, on that song. But on this album, she kind of doesn't do, she does vocals, but she doesn't do lyrics. It's all just kind of oohs and ahs, kind of background kind of vocals on this release. No lyrics. So it's not, I really like it when, I love female vocals, and I love it when they're singing stuff and not just oohing and ahhing, but it's fine, at least her voice is there. But then on subsequent releases after this, her voice was featured less and less and less, and it just became more instrumental music, and I just kind of lost interest. But here, her voice is featured prominently on this album, just not lyrics. So anyway, Mark Clifford is the main genius behind this band. And then there was Darren Seymour, Justin Fletcher, Sarah Peacock, and then Mark Van Hoen is listed as involved, but he's not really a band member. I don't know if he did like production or engineering or mastering, or I'm not sure exactly what his involvement, but he was involved in early Seefeel, or in Seefeel in general, maybe not this album. He's not listed in the credits. But anyway, after this album, after a couple of albums, I believe, in 97, well, I'll talk about this album first. It's just really awesome. I don't know. It's a 2-record set. So the songs are basically 8 minutes long, 6 minutes long. They're very long songs, which I really enjoy as well. So you don't have to get up right away and flip the record over. You get a little bit of time, about 15 minutes per side. But anyway, I love this. I'm glad it's back. They released a like a deluxe version of this as well at the same time this year, and it's a 4-disc set, and it comes with a bunch of bonus tracks and outtakes and remixes of these songs. So, but I didn't want to spend the extra money for that. I didn't really need it. I just wanted the original album and the original track listing. So it's on 2 Pure Records. So anyway, I'm going to kind of talk about, since we're on Seefeel, I'm going to talk about some bands that are kind of related to it, kind of like a 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of deal. So Seefeel, like I said, the very first EP is awesome. I wish that they would, I think maybe this is available on vinyl, but I don't think so. I wish that they would have released this EP along with the Keek as like a bonus whatever disc or whatever. That would have been awesome. But anyway, love that. And then Mark Clifford, as I mentioned, the main guy from Seefeel, he also worked with the Cocteau Twins on this EP, the Otherness EP. He kind of reconstructed all these 4 of these songs. It's a 4-disc or 4-track EP that was released right before the Cocteau Twins' last album, Milk and Kisses. He reworked 2 of the songs off of Milk and Kisses, and then he also did Cherry Colored Funk and Feet Like Fins off of Victoria Land, Cherry Colored Funk off of Heaven or Las Vegas. Really kind of deconstructed those songs. They sound completely different. So that's Mark Clifford. And then the rest of the band kind of split off and did their own band. And I love this band. I love this band more than I do Seefeel. So Darren Seymour, Justin Fletcher, Sarah Peacock, along with Mark Van Hoen, formed this band, Scala, around 97. So they were kind of around between like 96, 97, 98 is when they existed. They released this 4-track EP first called Lips in Heaven. Love this music. This is on 2 Pure, this 4-track, and I can only find some of the stuff I can only find on CD. I think they're kind of expensive on vinyl, at least that one is. This album, their first full-length album, Beauty Nowhere, is really awesome. They do a cover of Heart of Glass by Blondie. That's kind of an industrial version of that. It's really cool. And To You and Alpha, a full-length album on 2 Pure, awesome. And then also Compass Heart. These two albums, I believe, were released in '98. They were released the same year, two full-length albums. Really awesome stuff. As comparing this to like Seefeel, this stuff here is less kind of ambient and more kind of structured, pared down kind of songs. They don't go on for like 6, 8, 10 minutes or whatever. They're kind of like more concise, like 4-minute songs, and they're more kind of industrial, shoegazy, noisy, very noisy, lots of tape loops and effects and all kinds of layers and layers of stuff going on. And I really love that kind of music. So I really prefer Scala, and Sarah Peacock, she sings on most every song, which is like just awesome. So yeah, that's Scala. I also have here for show and tell, I have that To You and Alpha album on vinyl, and also the Beauty Nowhere, the one with the Blondie cover, also on vinyl. So I would love to find, I think that Compass Heart album that I showed on CD, I don't think that's available at all on vinyl. And in the first EP, I think I just need to track down a decently priced copy of that. I haven't been able to find one yet. So, and then I mentioned Mark Van Hoen, who worked with them on Scala. He also does this band called Locust. That's like his band. It's really all him, but he has like guest performers, guest vocalists and stuff appear on these. I think Sarah Peacock appears on some of it. So these two albums here that I have on CD are Mark Van Hoen as well. This CD is really cool. It's called Wrong, and it's got 2 CDs in it, and you play them simultaneously. So you need like 2 CD players, and you need to play these. One album is like the music, and then the second CD is all kind of droning. And you play them together, and it kind of creates this really kind of cool surround sound, atmospheric kind of deal. But you're not supposed to listen to the drone thing by itself. You're supposed to listen to it as a companion to the first CD. So yeah, Mark Van Hoen's really cool. Mark Van Hoen also, to stretch out the connections, he worked heavily on this album, Sing Sing's album. I don't know if he worked on their second one, but he definitely worked on this first one. The Joy of Sing Sing, this is Emma Anderson from Lush, and Lisa O'Neill, who's been in a bunch of different things. She actually worked with Mark Van Hoen on that Locust material, not the ones that I have. I don't think I couldn't find her name on any of the credits. A lot of this stuff's really hard to find, like information on. I dig around on the internet and I can't find a lot of references, but I'll read that Lisa worked with Mark Van Hoen on Locust, but then when I go to actually look for more information about that, like which album she worked on, I can't find any information. The links to those albums are like dead links, so I can't really find out. This is an awesome album. I love Sing Sing very, very much. And it doesn't really sound like Lush. It's a much more electronic influenced record. But yeah, love it. So anyway, so those are all the kind of different things that are kind of interconnected with Seefeel. Also, so that's the Seefeel album, Keek. I got that this week. Sounds amazing. I also mentioned, I think in the last video, maybe it was the last video or the video before, I mentioned this album, Nowhere. It was the video that I did that was like a thread. It was a tag. It was a vinyl tag, and it asked me if there was a musician that I enjoyed their appearance in a movie, a musician in a movie, and I mentioned that Gibby Haynes had a little cameo in this movie, Nowhere. Greg Araki film, fantastic. Love this. It's just a crazy, wonderful film. And I was complaining about how the fact that this wasn't available on DVD right now, that it was like a region 2 or whatever. It was only like something that you could watch on European DVD players, but not United States, something like that, something to that effect. And somebody piped up in my comments, thank you very much, that this is now available. Criterion Collection has released this on DVD for the United States. So sure enough, I looked it up and I had no idea, but he was right. It's not by itself though. It's a 3-pack of 3 different Greg Araki films, all on one set. I think it's 2 DVDs. Yeah, 2 DVDs. So yeah, so now I finally have this movie on DVD, so I can watch it on the big screen and high def and all that kind of stuff. So I mentioned the soundtrack, and I think I flubbed up. I don't know. I was trying to think of all the bands that are on the soundtrack to Nowhere. Um, and this movie, by the way, is from 1997. It's an amazing soundtrack. I used to have the CD. I couldn't find it, so I don't think I have it anymore. But the thing about the CD is that it only has like some of the bands, some of the songs from the movie. But literally, the movie is like just a continuous just music compilation going through the entire thing. There's so many songs in this movie that I recognize and that I love, and a lot of those songs are not on the soundtrack. So yeah, Criterion Collection. If you want to check out this movie, it's available. So I wrote down the bands. I went and looked up. There's a lot of bands that I don't know or don't care about, but these are the ones that I do like. The ones that are on the original soundtrack that you can buy like on CD or whatever. Radiohead, Elastica, Hole, Chemical Brothers, Massive Attack, Curve, Lush, Marilyn Manson, Suede. All those bands and some great songs from them are on the original soundtrack. But then these are some bands that are not on the soundtrack but are in the movie. And I remember hearing them too. It's not just, it's not just like some guy listening to it while driving by in a car for just a split second. Like you actually hear all these songs. Slow Dive, Cocteau Twins. So the Cocteau Twins song that they play is that Mark Clifford remix. I think it's Seekers Who Are Lovers, his remix of that song. That's the song that's on this Nowhere soundtrack. So it all ties together. So Cocteau Twins, Skilla or Skyla or Skila. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it was a side project of Tony Halliday when Curve was on hiatus one time. She put this band together and put out its unreleased demos or whatever, and one of those songs from that. I have the whole album like on download, but you can't buy it anywhere. Skilla, so there's a song from them. Sonic Youth, Blur, Nine Inch Nails, Mojave 3. There's 2 Seefeel songs on the soundtrack too, just not on the physical soundtrack. Jesus and Mary Chain, Portishead, The. It's just amazing. Like it's probably one of the most amazing soundtracks that there is, at least as far as like music that I love. So yeah, and the visuals in this movie are just insanely crazy, and the storyline's absurd, and it's just a really great fun movie. So anyway, enough of that. So that's my whole screed about Seefeel and related adjacent projects or whatever. Another record I ordered, and the reason why I wasn't sure if I was going to get this. I hadn't heard it. I had not heard it prior, but I saw it was on Amazon, and I had credit, and I always have credit because I just do. I get gifts a lot. I get Amazon gift cards a lot from work and whatnot, or I return something, and I put it as credit on my account. But this album was available on black vinyl, and it was also available on cream vinyl. And I'm a sucker for this crap. They'll say only like 3 copies left or whatever of this cream colored variant. And so, of course, I jump on it. If it was just black vinyl, I might not have even ordered it. But since there was that probably fake sense of urgency, I went ahead and ordered it. So I figured I'll just listen to it. And if I don't like it, I can return it. That's what's great about Amazon. Throwing Muses, Moonlight Concessions is their newest album, just came out this year. And it's just Kristen Hirsch, and actually it's the 3 people that have been putting out music as Throwing Muses for quite a while now. Dave Narciso, and I forget the bass player's name. But there's not really a lot of drums in this. It's very kind of quiet. The drums are very quiet. It's not a very loud album. It's very quiet. It's very subdued music. I've only listened to it through a couple of times, and I like it, but I don't know if this is going to grow on me or if it's just going to be another album that I'm just, it doesn't grab me like a lot of their older stuff does. But yeah, so Throwing Muses. There's also a companion record to this called Moonlight Confessions. So you have to keep those 2 straight. And it's like a black and white cover. And it comes on clear vinyl. And you can only get it, I believe, through Rough Trade. and it's the same songs, but they're recorded differently. It's kind of a different mix of the recordings. Not a mix. What am I trying to say? It's more of like, she described it in an interview or whatever, that it's more lively, more kind of abrupt, in your face kind of versions of these same songs. So this has got a lot of like cello and strings, and it's more subdued and kind of laid back. And this other, the Midnight Confessions, that's the black and white cover, it's a lot more direct and livelier, I guess, or whatever, more got more punch, I guess, to it. And I cannot find any place on the internet to listen to it first, to preview it, to see if I wanted to have that version of it instead of this one, or both of them. I don't know, but I can't find any copies of any of that other version or whatever anywhere on the internet, so I can listen to it, see what the difference is, whatever. So I don't know, maybe it'll pop up somewhere, maybe somebody will upload it to YouTube at some point, I'm not sure. But anyway, I love the Throwing Muses, I absolutely do. I'm not buying into this new album quite yet, so we'll see. I'll give it a few more listens and see where we go with that. But anyway, I love Kirsten Hirsch though, so I'm glad they're still making music, absolutely. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see, the next thing. What do I want to talk about? I talked about Seefeel. I talked about Nowhere. So yeah, two more things to talk about. So I belong to a lot of Facebook groups for the band Stereolab. And they started on the official Stereolab, I guess the one that's run by Martin Pike, who's like their manager or whatever, or he handles like all their kind of online ordering, their online presence or whatever. He kind of manages all that stuff, their merch and releases and all that kind of stuff. Martin Pike, or Pikey is his nickname. He started posting on I guess the official Facebook page for Stereolab, these little hints, these little photos, these little inset cropped photos of things with like these cryptic messages, talking about, is your aerial working? Is it functioning? I'm paraphrasing. Aerial meaning AERIL, like your antenna, like your TV antenna, aerial. I guess maybe they use that term in the UK. We just call it our antenna, but whatever. We don't even use antennas. I don't even like use a TV for any. I use TVs to watch movies, and that's it. But anyway, so that was so like they were and then they show this picture of like a brown paper bag, and it's got like a gold sticker on it, and it says like unofficial or unsolicited Stereolab material on a stamp. And I'm like, what the hell is this or whatever? And everybody's like, ooh, something's coming. And people were guessing that maybe it was like some outtake or something that they were going to release as a 7-inch or whatever. An outtake from like the Fab 4 Suture recordings or something like that. That's what they were guessing. But they were showing like little bits and pieces of this thing. And then somebody showed what it actually was, and it was a 7-inch. It just said big letter A on one side, big letter B on the other side of the label. And so it was 2 songs that they released, and the song was called Aerial Trouble. And they were like, and that's it. It was just really kind of cryptic, not really given a lot of context or information. But it turns out what Stereolab had done was they took people on their mailing list. I don't know if it's everybody on their mailing list. I don't know how many people they have on their mailing list or how many copies that they made of this 7-inch record. But they mailed them out to at least some people on their mailing list. And I'm on their mailing list. I've been on their mailing list for years and years and years and years, both my email and my address. I've ordered things from their catalog or whatever fairly recently, because they had my updated address. I've just moved like in the past couple of years. So obviously they had a new updated version of my mailing address. And so, but they were mailing this record out to people I'm like, I never get this crap. You know, this is something that happens to lucky people in the UK or whatever. They're not going to send something all the way out. And then sure enough, like the next day after I saw that, I get this mailer, this cardboard brown mailer, plain mailer, and it says stamped right at the top, standard unsolicited Stereolab material, print stamped on there. And I'm like, oh my God, I got one. I actually got one of these. So fantastic. I took it inside, opened it up, I peeled this thing. The glue is very heavy on it, and I pulled it out, and this is what was inside. This, it's a little brown paper bag kind of folded and wrapped around a 7-inch sized record. And this was the sticker on the back that they were showing on in the photos or whatever. Yeah, and it says, again, standard unsolicited Stereolab material, duophonic disc, that's their own label, and then Warp Records, which is what they've been releasing all of their recent reissues on Warp Records. I have not opened this yet. I am so, like, I don't know why, but I don't want to tear this paper and this label or whatever, because it's sealed pretty good on there. I don't know if it's going to peel up. I already know what's inside. I've seen pictures of what's inside. I've heard the song. The song is on Spotify. Aerial Trouble is on Spotify. You can go listen to it right now. So I know what the song sounds like. Side B of it is, I believe, just an instrumental of the same song. But yeah, so they sent me one of these for free as a complete total surprise to all this, at least some of the Stereolab fans that are on their mailing list. So I was just completely just so happy and amazed that that actually happened. So I don't know. I eventually I'll probably, I don't know. I mean, there's really no reason for me to take this out and play it or whatever, because soon after that, they announced that they're releasing a new album. And this song is on that album. So if I want to listen to it on vinyl, I'll be able to listen to it when the album comes out. The album comes out next month. It's called, I had to write it down because it's confusing, Instant Holograms on Metal Film is the name. If you go to their website, you'll see it all over the place. They're selling copies of it on clear vinyl. It's a 2-record set, gatefold, on clear vinyl or black vinyl. CDs are available. There's a CD that's just a plain CD, and there's another CD with I think the cover has like an embossed cover, or the logo is embossed on the CD cover. It's like $3 more or whatever. And then they also had a duophonic label, duophonic website exclusive version, and it was on blue and orange vinyl. I ordered that one. And it's sold out. That one was just a limited run, I guess, and they've already sold out of the orange and blue, but you can still get it on clear, you can still get it on black vinyl. So in the middle of next month, it's going to be released, hopefully in the mail. Hopefully it'll arrive on the release date, because usually a lot of times when I pre-order these things, you'll see it in the store, the record store, before the people that pre-ordered it months ago or whatever get it in the mail, which is kind of irritating, but whatever. You would think that they would send it in advance of the release date rather than wait till the release date to send it out, but whatever. So yeah, so they got this new album coming out, which is completely out of nowhere. I had no idea that they were working on a new album. That's just a complete surprise, and it's awesome. The first song, Aerial Trouble, like I said, it's a great song. They've got, I think the bass player is singing backup on it for a little bit, and then they've got another female vocalist that's doing backup as well, kind of taking the place of Mary Hansen, who passed away years ago. I think like in 2001. Yeah, it's been a long time. And Letitia, the main lead vocalist, she had been doing double duty as far as like lead vocals and backing vocals, and it sounds like they've got a new backing vocalist to take place of that. It sounds awesome. Sounds like, just good old Stereolab music. So that's going to be awesome, having new music. They got new t-shirts and all this new stuff going on. So I imagine they'll be selling the record at the shows. They're doing this humongous United States tour, also the UK and Europe, and they're going to be touring in Mexico and South America. It just looks like a banner year for the band, and I'm all for it. I'm just really excited. We're going to go see 2 shows, back-to-back shows at the Bellwether in Los Angeles. Already sold out. Those 2 shows are sold out. Just really happy to see the band again and hear new music from them. It's just awesome. And so yeah, Stereolab. It's been a Stereolab kind of week for me. And let's see, what else? Is there anything else? I just thought of something that came to my head, but now I can't think. Oh, DRI. So tonight I'm going to see concert. Is it my first concert of the year? No, I saw Deftones with my son. This is my first concert of like my music that I'm going to go see. Hardcore, punk, thrash, crossover, metal kind of band, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles out of Houston, Texas. This album came out in like 1985. I was a junior, senior in high school. Love this album. Me and all my friends listen to this all the time. And this is my first time I'm going to actually see the band live. Really excited about that. I've watched a few of their videos of recent shows, and they sound fantastic. They look great. It's just Kurt and Spike. Kurt the vocalist and Spike the guitarist from the original lineup, and then they got a couple other guys on bass and drums. I also have, this is their first EP called the Dirty Rotten EP. This is a reissue. So it's a 7-inch, and it's got how many songs? 22 songs. 22 songs on a 7-inch. A lot of the songs are no longer than like 20 seconds long. It's just awesome. I love them. So yeah, so I've got that. I used to have this on 12-inch. I don't know why I sold the record, but they released it originally as a 7-inch. Then they released it as a 12-inch and called it the Dirty Rotten LP. I used to have a copy of that, but when I reordered the reissue, I ended up getting the 7-inch version. And then this is my original from way back when I was in high school. Violent Pacification. This was an EP that they released after the Dirty Rotten EP and before dealing with the album that I just showed. It's just got a few songs on it, like, yeah, it's just got a few songs on it, but Violent Pacification is one of their classic songs. I'm sure they'll be playing it tonight. Love them. Yeah, last time I went to a punk show, it was Charged GBH, and I was standing kind of up front in the middle when the band came on, and I immediately got knocked over. I was filming with my stupid phone and not paying attention to my surroundings, and I completely got flattened on my back and just covered in like, just soaked in beer. I didn't get hurt or anything. People helped me back up. My phone was somewhere. I found my phone, wiped it off, and continued enjoying the show. But I think this time I'm going to stay clear of the middle front section, just because they're not skanking or whatever mosh pit, whatever the kids call it these days. Back in my day, we called it skanking, and whatever, stage diving and all that stuff. That they definitely do a ton of that for their shows, for DRI shows. I'm going to stay clear of the middle front section and just kind of hang back towards the sides, the flanks, or the back, or whatever, and just kind of watch from a safe distance. I'm not going to be pushing and shoving people around. This night, I'm just there to enjoy the music and enjoy the fun, and can't wait. And then Monday night, we're going to see Kraftwerk. Courtney and I are going to go to a really nice theater in downtown Phoenix and see Kraftwerk. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I'll give a report on these 2 shows next time I see you all. Thanks for watching. Hope you all had a great record store day. I love you guys. Thanks for supporting my channel. I'll see you all soon. Bye.